What's up everybody, Gomes here, and welcome back. Alright guys, so here's the deal. 2020 is over with, and honestly, I'm glad. I hope 2021 is better. I guess we'll see, I have no idea. But today's video is not going to be to talk about the darkness that was 2020. In fact, today we're going to be praising a lot of stuff from 2020. As you guys can tell from the title, intro, and thumbnail for this video, today we are going to be talking about my perfect brick 2020. For those of you that have been subscribed to my channel for at least the past year, you probably know that last year I had a video. It was my perfect brick for decks in 2019. That video stands today as one of the most viewed videos on this channel. You guys really seem to love it, so naturally I could not pass up the chance to do it again this year. Looking back on it, I'm actually really glad that I did that video last year, and I think it also does help you focus on the positive stuff or the good things that came out of 2020, and for us, it's cards. I'm also going to be announcing a giveaway at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around. As well, I will be announcing the winners of my previous giveaway here. All that and more coming up, but before we get into it, please do drop a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's roll that intro and count down.
Let's go.
Alright, now before we get into the countdown, there are a few ground rules that I'm going to go over. Similar to what I did last year, this year I'm going to be doing only one deck from each brand. So there's not going to be duplicates of the same brand, which means you're not going to get 10 Fontaine decks in here or 3 Gemini decks. It's going to be one per brand. That was my limit. I think that's good, so then that way there's not one brand that put out a bunch of decks that has a clear advantage. This kind of keeps everything even. As well, I am going to be excluding any decks that had anything to do with me, whether it was a deck that had my face on it, my name on it, or a deck that I produced myself. So as well, I did my best to keep this list in some kind of order. However, I could really interchange any deck for any deck within these 12 and pretty much get the perfect brick either way. Alright, now that we got the ground rules out of the way, let's get into it. Alright, coming in at number 12, we have the Rise playing cards. So this deck was produced by Grant and Chandler Henry with the United States Playing Cards Company. If you guys don't know Rise Magic, they are a massive channel on this platform, cardistry, magic, tutorials, all that fun stuff. And they're also friends of mine. And this past year, they put out their first deck of cards, the Rise playing cards. These were years in the making, and honestly, they're so worthy of being in my top 12. They look so good. I love the blue. You can really see how much attention went into creating this deck. It's not just a deck for the sake of being a deck. There was absolutely some TLC that went into this. I really think it paid off. I love this deck. Okay, coming in at number 11, we have the Blue Remedies playing cards by Daniel Schneider and Daniel Madison. If you guys watch my videos, you know this. Daniel Schneider is among my absolute favorite of designers in playing cards. I love everything that the guy does, and the Madison Schneider Remedies are amazing. Earlier in the year, the Red Remedies came out, which were the first collaboration of Daniel Schneider and Daniel Madison, and that deck was really amazing. But for me, it wasn't until this one came out that I kind of realized the direction of this brand and kind of changed everything. I love the minimalist aesthetic of this deck with the thin borders and the mirrored logo. I think that this deck really represents something special in the collaboration between the two Daniels, but one thing that really impresses me, and why I said that the blue one was really the game changer, it's because when the red one came out, I thought it was an amazing deck already, but when I saw the blue, the specific shade of blue used for the blue ones, I realized that these decks are coming in the exact same colors as the original Madison Rounders, and I thought that was probably the sickest collaboration / tribute in playing cards that I had seen all year long. So yeah, these are amazing cards, definitely worthy of being in my perfect brick. Alright, I'm going to do my best not to talk about all of these cards too much because I know we got a lot to get through, but to be honest, I could do this all day. Alright, coming in at number 10, we have the Isometric X playing cards. I don't really know much about this deck, to be honest. I don't think it was printed in the US, judging by the feel, but it really doesn't say. I can't really find it on the website. The cards feel amazing though. I love this design. This is one of those decks that you pick it up, you use it over and over and over again, and it always feels good, and that's a deck that really is worthy of a top spot. But as well, I love the design. This kind of cartoony aesthetic on the box and on the back design. It's definitely my style. You guys who have seen like the Slow Hands logos, I love these kind of white glove hands. I just think it looks so cool, so clean. I don't know, I love it. I like it because you can use it for magic, you can use it for cardistry, and it just feels really good. It lasts a long time. Great deck. Alright, now coming in at number 9, I really had to wrestle with this one because Organic Playing Cards comes out with amazing decks, and in 2020 they really jam-packed the releases, but number 9 on my list is actually the Avocados by Organic Playing Cards. Now, I know for those of you that watch this channel, you would think that it's a shock that I didn't choose the Grapefruit Squeezers V3 over these ones, but I don't know. There's just something about this deck. I love the material that the box is made out of, kind of that synthetic material. I love the orange that was used. The face cards are really, really well done, and I like the contrast of olive green and orange. It just looks so good. I just find myself, I guess, in general, picking this deck up more than any other OPC deck in 2020, so there you go. But speaking of pink playing cards, you know this wouldn't be a true Kiergomes list without it, so coming in at number 8 are the pink Gemini Casino playing cards. There's really nothing not to love about this deck. I love the shade of pink. It's very soft, it's very muted, and as well I appreciate that Tomas Pinston, when designing this deck, didn't just swap out the color. He also took the time to completely redesign the box so this does not look the same as the original Gemini Casino boxes, and as well added some accents like gold metallic ink onto the back design, which really gave that pink some elevation. So nice muted down pink, and then you get that sharp gold color. It just came out so good. As well, it's a Gemini deck, which means that it's going to be amazing just in general. I really love the card stock. It's crushed, it's thin, it feels really good, but as well, just that pink color, I can't get enough of it. This is one of those decks that you just kind of get carried away with, you know what I mean? Like, you open it up to break it in, and then before you know it, like 4 or 5 hours has gone by and you've just been shuffling this thing all day. These are limited edition, and I'm probably down to like my final half brick, so I try to preserve as much as I can, but come on. Alright, coming in at number 7, you guys probably knew this was coming. This is the Copper Luxury Edition Knock playing cards by Riffle Shuffle and Alex Pandrea. What is not to love about these cards? I like the silver ones, I like the gold ones, the copper ones are absolutely my favorite. Everything from like the box to the seal on this deck is just class through and through. I love the material, again, that kind of synthetic box. This deck was actually a Kickstarter, and it was funded in under 1 minute, which is absolutely insane, but also kind of something you would expect from Alex and Kevin. The cards just came out really good, so I have done a full review on all 3 of these here on the channel. I've reviewed most of these decks, so anything you want to see a review for, check the description, check out the video. If you guys have any cards on this stock, you already know. These will last forever. They're going to feel good the entire time. And what more can you really ask for from playing cards, you know? Alright guys, we are halfway down the list. So this back half are really the decks where if I did have to condense my picks this year down to just a half brick, this is probably what I would do. So we're going to kick that off with one from my buddy Luke Wadey. That is going to be the Mono Hexa playing cards. Now here's the thing, you guys. It actually would not be this exact deck for 2 reasons. Number 1, this is a prototype, so not the actual USPCC version. Mine are not fulfilled yet. So Luke, get on that. But as well, this is actually not the edition that I'm talking about. I just don't have the edition that I'm talking about yet. If you guys saw Luke's Kickstarter for this deck, there were multiple editions, but my favorite one is the Mono Hexa Chroma edition. That deck is fully bordered, it's got more traditional faces on it, it's a perfect deck for Magic, but it's also got that Luke Wadey flavor. So that deck, 100% in my top brick for 2020. Alright, coming in at number 5, we have the new Joker and the Thief deck. And I always end up having to look up the name of this deck because it's not written on the deck, it's on the website. And it's got like a number, it's the 597 playing cards. A few weeks ago when I got these in the mail, I did kind of a satisfying unboxing where it was just like some ASMR coffee shop music and kind of unboxed and shuffled these around. I absolutely love this deck. This was one of the many times where I made a purchase for like an initial 3 just to see. I loved the deck, and so I bought 3 more and then realized, well, I want to get more before they sell out. So I ended up buying another half brick. Ended up with a brick of these. I've used 3 actually in 2 months. That's something. Remember guys, if you want to see reviews for any of this stuff, you can always just check out the links in the description. Alright, so coming in at number 4, we have the Chicken Nugget V2 playing cards by Hansen Chen. I love this deck. This also started off as a Kickstarter, which subsequently got pulled off of Kickstarter when the Jerry's Nuggets was fully funded and out there. I was really intrigued by this deck already. I liked the callback to the Jerry's Nuggets. This was actually one of the Jerry's Nuggets original designs. I liked the navy blue color, and then I liked the green one. I just thought it was cool to see kind of a more vintage looking Jerry's Nugget parody, and as well it's printed by Hansen Chen, which meant the cards are going to feel amazing. You guys have probably heard me say this before, but to kind of address the cards printed in Taiwan debacle, I say if you don't like cards printed in Taiwan, you just haven't tried the right cards printed in Taiwan yet. But this deck serves as a great example of cards printed in a Taiwan factory that feel amazing, that'll last you a while. It just feels so good and so satisfying to play with, especially after you break them in, because you gotta remember, not everybody is USPCC. Sometimes you have to break in your cards and let them get a little bit clumpy, you know, and then you keep breaking them in and then they get even better. There's a pro tip for you. Alright, coming in at number 3 is the Paperwave V3 Venomous Edition by Lorenzo Cobo and Paperwave. This deck blew my mind the first time I saw it. So Lorenzo actually sent me a prototype of this. Actually, I think I bought a prototype so that I could review it early, I think is what happened. But I was so stoked on the design, I didn't want to wait. I wanted to look at the cards, I wanted to take photos of them, I wanted to review it. This deck is crazy, it's super trippy. It was designed by Aku, I think I'm saying that right? AKU. Either way, dog, you did a good job. This deck is crazy. Definitely has some like 90s aesthetic to it, a little bit of 80s as well, with these like orange and pink and neon green, and it's just so lively and colorful, which you can kind of expect that from Paperwave, you know. At least, you know, the first edition was very retro, had a very synthwave or vaporwave feel. Then the V2 was in black and white, and then boom, we got some of that color back. So these cards came out really nice. I love the paper stock. I think these are thin crushed with a linen finish, and they feel different. They definitely feel different from other cards, but I really like the way that they came out. There's another deck. This is another perfect example. Lorenzo can back this. This is another deck where I bought some, and then I went back and bought more, then I went back and bought more, then I went back and bought more, so I just kept buying. I should have done it all at once, saved on the shipping, but you live and you learn. Alright, coming in at number 2 on my list today, we have the Fontaine and Dabs My LA playing cards. I mean, I've already done the full review for this, so I don't want to get into it, but the colors of this deck are insane. There's really nothing about this deck that I don't like. Fontaine sometimes in the past has gotten some heat for doing some basic stuff, you know, color swapping and releasing decks, whatever. I've always been on board for that. I've always thought Fontaine was cool no matter what, but I have to say some of the collabs that they do end up blowing my mind, and this one is the perfect example. I just love the overall aesthetic. This deck looks sick in fans with those thin borders and bright colors. The cards feel really nice. I even love the customization on the court cards. I love that they're all people of color. I also love like all of the aces on this deck. So it's just super, super cool. It's a very interesting deck. It's very satisfying to play with as well. Paper stock feels really good, and yeah, just can't say enough. I absolutely love it. All right, now before we get into my number 1 deck, the only deck left in this brick, I have a few honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1 is the Tough Luck Playing Cards by Doc's Playing Card Company. Now in 2019 I did a lot of work for Doc's. I haven't really done anything in 2020, but when this deck came out I was so stoked on it that I bought some. I really like the customization on the face cards. Most of you know that I'm a huge fan of standard faces, but I love the customization that Brad did on this deck. It just came out so good. Can't say enough about it. The tuck box, probably my favorite piece of it. Just well done. So Brad, Mike, boys, give me more. Next honorable mention is the Pink Cherry Casino playing cards, the Flamingo Quartz. In 2020, I was actually also very fortunate to start working at Pure Imagination, and this was the first deck of cherries that came out after I started there, so it was very fitting, a pink deck right after I joined. It's just a special deck. I was really excited about the trailer by AV Tones. It's just all around good feeling deck. It gives me a good feeling. Next honorable mention is the My Knock V2, the leather edition. These are amazing. They just made the cutoff for 2020. They came out just a few days before the end of the year. Look at that. Oh, yes. Yes, I could actually do a whole video on a knock deck, and that's how you know it's a good knock deck. So definitely an honorable mention. Glare is starting to come in, and I had to order new curtains. My cat tore those ones down, so we're gonna have to deal. My last honorable mention is the Carbon playing cards. This is the Graphite edition by Nick Nisko and Luke Wadey. I don't even need to get into it. I absolutely love this deck. Luke knows how much I love it. I'm going to be saving the review and unboxing and all that stuff for when the Kickstarter orders come in, but whew, man, great deck. All right, guys, and that brings me to my number one, my favorite deck of 2020, the last deck in this amazing cork brick box by JP Games, and that is none other than the Carbon Playing Cards Diamond Edition by Nick Nisko. Again, I'm going to save all of the details and the finer stuff for the review, but this deck, as soon as it came in, Nick actually had the warehouse overnight me a few decks, so one of each, and this one, as soon as I opened it, it blew my mind. I love the marking system. I love the back design. This is a deck that I could walk around with all the time and drop some magic, some cardistry, whatever. It just feels good. It looks good. I'm so proud of Nick for doing this. Is definitely my favorite deck that Nick has designed for the Elemental Playing Card series. Alright guys, and that was it. That was my perfect brick of playing cards 2020. So now that we've got to mine, I want to know yours. But before we can get into that, let's talk about the giveaway. I'm going to be giving away one sealed Pink Cherry Casino deck, one sealed Blue Remedies deck, and one sealed Gemini Casino Pink deck. Those are the open ones. The sealed ones are over here. I'm going to be giving away 3 decks. And actually, I'll throw in one of the Slow Hands Starters Edition decks and one of the Slow Hands Tortoise backs. All you have to do if you want to enter that giveaway is, number 1, drop a like on this video. Number 2, make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on. And number 3, leave me a comment letting me know either what your favorite decks of 2020 were, or let me know what decks you're looking forward to in 2021. As well, for those of you that entered my last giveaway for the Slow Hands decks, please look in the description. I have the winner's name announced there. As well, if you guys are interested, I also have a Kickstarter currently going on for my 3rd deck of cards. This one is a new series, Generation 1. It is designed by Luke Wadey. It's a collaboration deck between him and I. We found this amazing way to make 50-50 Luke and Kier formula to make an amazing deck of cards, and that is on Kickstarter right now, killing it. So if you guys want to check that out, link is down below. As well, if you're interested in getting some Slow Hands decks, we still have some available at our store, so I'll leave that link down below as well. Alright guys, let's look forward to a better 2020. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Remember, just because it's a new year does not mean that all the problems in the world have gone away. So do your part. Let's make 2021 a better year. I know I'm trying. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.